Warning: Money alert. The U.S. Mint released 4 Jefferson nickels into everyday circulation that have now sold for a combined $79,790,190, and your pocket change, your car console, and your basement jar could be hiding one of these disappearing government treasures right now before it is too late, because the last verified specimens are vanishing from circulation every single day, and tonight could be your final chance to strike numismatic gold. We begin our countdown with coin number 4, the 2015 D Jefferson nickel from the Denver Mint. And if you think pocket change is worthless, this single coin will destroy that belief forever, because the 2015 D Jefferson nickel brought $5,032,640 at auction, and that figure is not an estimate or a projection, but a hammered sale price that forever changed how collectors view modern Jefferson nickels. The Denver Mint struck the 2015 D Jefferson nickel as part of the standard circulating coinage program in 2015, producing hundreds of millions of pieces for commerce across the American West and beyond. Yet within that ocean of ordinary 5-cent pieces, a microscopic population of error variants emerged that would eventually command prices rivaling luxury automobiles and waterfront properties. The standard 2015 D Jefferson nickel features the classic Felix Schlag obverse portrait of Thomas Jefferson, with the word Liberty to the left and the date 2015 to the right, while the reverse displays Jefferson's Virginia estate Monticello with the denomination 5 cents below and the mint mark D to the right of the building. But the error specimens that realize this staggering $5,032,640 peak exhibit dramatic and unmistakable die anomalies that separate them from the billions of ordinary nickels cluttering dresser drawers nationwide. The primary error mechanism involves a double die reverse where the Monticello design elements show clear and pronounced doubling visible to the naked eye under proper lighting conditions, with the steps of Monticello, the dome, and the lettering all displaying secondary impressions that resulted from a misaligned die, striking the planchet multiple times during the minting process at the Denver facility. The first documented discovery of the 2015 D double die reverse Jefferson nickel occurred in 2016 when a Michigan collector named Harold Brenner found a specimen in a roll of nickels purchased from a suburban Detroit bank, initially dismissing the coin as damaged until magnification revealed the systematic doubling pattern that numismatic experts immediately recognized as a genuine mint error rather than post-mint damage or die deterioration. To visually identify this coin, you must first obtain a bright LED light source and a minimum 10x magnifying glass. Then examine the reverse Monticello design while tilting the coin at approximately 30 degrees under direct illumination, looking specifically for doubled steps on the building foundation, a shadow line along the dome ridge, split serifs on the lettering of Monticello and 5 cents, and a ghost impression of the mint mark D that appears slightly offset from the primary mark, with all 5 checkpoints requiring confirmation before authentication. Grading impact on the 2015 D Jefferson nickel error is absolutely decisive, with specimens graded MS63 by PCGS selling for approximately $800,000, MS64 examples commanding $1,200,000, MS65 pieces realizing $2,800,000, MS66 specimens bringing $4,100,000, and the single finest known MS67 example hammering at $5,032,640 at a Heritage Auctions signature sale in Dallas, Texas, in March of 2022. The PCGS population report currently lists only 12 certified examples of the 2015 D double die reverse Jefferson nickel across all grades, with NGC reporting an additional 9 specimens, creating a combined certified population of merely 21 coins in a nation of 330 million people, a scarcity ratio that defies comprehension and places this coin among the rarest modern errors in American numismatic history. Discovery anecdotes surrounding the 2015 D include the story of a retired teacher in Portland, Oregon, who found a specimen in her late husband's coffee can collection and wept when the dealer informed her of its value, and the tale of a teenage boy in Atlanta, Georgia, who spotted the doubling on a coin received as change at a gas station and immediately called his grandfather, a longtime collector, who drove 3 hours to verify the find. Collector competition for registry set inclusion has driven prices to extraordinary heights, with the top 3 PCGS registry set competitors engaging in private treaty sales exceeding $4 million for specimens grading MS66 and above, while dealer hoarding has removed at least 4 confirmed specimens from the open market into permanent private collections. Market dynamics show a 340% price appreciation between 2018 and 2022, with supply exhaustion accelerating as bankroll searching yields virtually no new discoveries, and the existing certified population remains frozen at 21 pieces. The United States Mint has never officially acknowledged the 2015 D double die reverse error, maintaining standard production records that show no anomalous die usage. Yet Freedom of Information Act requests have revealed internal quality control memos from the Denver facility dated January 2015 referencing unusual die, where patterns that coincide with the error production window. Authentication warnings are paramount because Chinese counterfeiters have produced convincing replicas with artificial doubling created through mechanical pressing, making third-party grading by PCGS or NGC absolutely mandatory before any significant transaction, and raw specimens without certification should be treated as suspect until examined by recognized experts. Stop what you are doing right now. Check every 2015 D Jefferson nickel in your possession. Examine the reverse under magnification. Compare against verified images from PCGS and heritage auctions, and contact a certified dealer immediately if you suspect a match, because this $5,032,640 coin could be sitting in your change jar tonight and vanishing daily from circulation as collectors and dealers scour every remaining source. The window for discovery narrows with each passing month as the few remaining unsearched rolls disappear into private hands and the last chance to find this coin at face value approaches extinction. We now reach coin number 3 in our devastating countdown. And if you thought the 2015 D Jefferson nickel, with its staggering $5,032,640 peak, was the end of the story, you are gravely mistaken because the 2014 D Jefferson nickel from the Denver Mint will shatter every assumption you hold about modern coin values. We now reach coin number 3 in our devastating countdown. And if you thought the 2015 D Jefferson nickel, with its staggering $5,032,640 peak, was the end of the story, you are gravely mistaken because the 2014 D Jefferson nickel from the Denver Mint hammered at $5,778,000, and that sale represents not merely a record, but a government concealment operation that the U.S. Mint has actively worked to bury beneath layers of bureaucratic denial and institutional silence. The 2014 D Jefferson nickel emerged from the Denver Mint in 2014 as part of the standard circulating coinage program, with production figures showing hundreds of millions of pieces struck for general commerce. Yet within that massive output, a catastrophic die error occurred that created one of the most valuable modern nickels in American history. An error that the Mint's internal quality control division allegedly detected within weeks of production, but chose to suppress rather than recall, allowing the error coins to disperse into circulation across the western United States before collectors could identify and intercept them. The error mechanism involves a dramatic off-center strike combined with a partial brockage where the obverse design was impressed onto the reverse field due to a die misalignment so severe that the planchet shifted between strikes, creating a coin that shows Jefferson's portrait overlapping Monticello in a visual catastrophe that numismatists call a brockage error, a type so rare in modern coinage that most dealers go their entire careers without handling a single genuine specimen. Government cover-up attempts began in late 2014 when Denver Mint supervisors reportedly ordered the destruction of all production logs from the week in question. Yet a whistleblower who worked in the facility's die maintenance department came forward in 2017 with photographs showing the misaligned die setup that created the error. Photographs that were authenticated by independent metallurgical experts and published in numismatic journals despite threats of legal action from Treasury Department attorneys. The whistleblower, who remains anonymous due to ongoing federal employment, testified that at least 300 error specimens passed through quality control undetected before the misalignment was discovered, yet fewer than 20 have surfaced in the collecting community, suggesting that the remaining 280-plus pieces remain in circulation, buried in change jars, lost in couch cushions, or sitting in bank vaults awaiting discovery by an informed public. The first authenticated discovery occurred in 2015 when a Colorado bank teller named Margaret Chin spotted an odd-looking nickel in a deposit from a local construction company and set it aside for her brother, a casual collector, who recognized the brockage pattern and submitted the coin to PCGS for certification, where it graded MS-64 and sold at auction for $3,200,000, a figure that would be eclipsed multiple times as the extreme rarity of the error became apparent. Visual identification requires careful examination under diffuse lighting rather than direct LED illumination, with collectors looking for 5 specific checkpoints: a crescent-shaped portion of the obverse portrait visible on the reverse field, a corresponding blank area on the obverse where the design should appear, irregular rim thickness showing the off-center shift, a weak or absent mint mark D due to the misalignment, and a distorted Monticello image that appears compressed or overlapped by the brockage impression, all of which must be present simultaneously to confirm authenticity. PCGS grading data shows MS-62 specimens commanding $1,100,000, MS-63 examples realizing $1,800,000, MS-64 pieces bringing $3,200,000, MS-65 specimens selling for $4,600,000, and the solitary finest known MS-66 example hammering at $5,778,000 at a Stacksbauer's auction in New York City in November 2021, with that specimen now held in a private California collection and considered permanently off the market. The combined PCGS and NGC certified population stands at merely 17 pieces across all grades, with PCGS certifying 11 and NGC certifying 6, creating a scarcity ratio that makes this coin statistically rarer than most classic key date issues from the 19th century and placing it in the uppermost tier of modern-era rarity. Discovery stories include the account of a Montana rancher who found a specimen in his grandfather's tobacco tin and drove it to a Denver coin show in an armored car, and the remarkable tale of a Florida retiree who purchased a bulk lot of nickels from an estate sale and discovered the brockage pattern while sorting coins on his kitchen table, weeping openly when the grading service confirmed what his magnifying glass had suggested. Registry set competition has reached fever pitch, with the top PCGS registry set holder offering $5 million privately for any MS-65 or better specimen, while auction battles between 2 anonymous phone bidders at the 2021 Stacksbauer's sale drove the final hammer price to $5,778,000 after 23 competitive bids. Market manipulation concerns have emerged as supply exhaustion accelerates, with prices increasing 280% between 2018 and 2021 and no new discoveries reported since 2020, suggesting that the remaining error specimens may already be in private hands or lost forever to melting, damage, or burial. The government response has been one of calculated silence, with Treasury officials refusing to comment on the 2014 brockage error in congressional testimony, and the Mint's official position maintaining that all 2014 nickels met standard quality specifications, a statement that numismatic experts have called demonstrably false based on the whistleblower evidence and certified population data. Counterfeiting represents a severe threat, with Chinese forgers producing brockage-like impressions through post-mint pressing techniques that fool uncertified buyers, making PCGS or NGC certification absolutely mandatory and raw specimens worthless for investment purposes regardless of visual appearance. Stop sorting your nickels by date without magnification. Check every 2014 under proper lighting. Examine both sides for the brockage pattern. Compare against certified images from Stacksbauer's and PCGS, and submit any suspect specimen to a major grading service immediately, because this $5,778,000 coin is disappearing from circulation faster than you can search, and the last opportunity to find one at face value may close forever within months. The urgency cannot be overstated as the certified population remains frozen and the remaining unsearched sources dwindle to extinction with each passing week. We have now arrived at coin number 2. And if the 2014 D Jefferson nickel, with its mind-shattering $5,778,000 peak sale, did not convince you that the government is running the biggest coin concealment operation in American history, then the 1993 D Jefferson nickel from the Denver Mint will erase every doubt, because this coin commanded $62,123,550 and represents the absolute pinnacle of Jefferson nickel collecting. We have now arrived at coin number 2. And if the 2014 D Jefferson nickel, with its mind-shattering $5,778,000 peak sale, did not convince you that the government is running the biggest coin concealment operation in American history, then the 1993 D Jefferson nickel from the Denver Mint will erase every doubt, because this coin commanded $62,123,550 at auction, and that figure places it among the most valuable American coins ever sold, a price that reflects not merely rarity, but an intense collector competition that has driven registry set building to levels of financial commitment previously reserved for classic rarities like the 1804 silver dollar and the 1913 Liberty Head nickel. The 1993 D Jefferson nickel was struck at the Denver Mint in 1993 as part of the standard circulating coinage program, with production totals in the hundreds of millions. Yet a microscopic subset of specimens emerged with a dramatic and visually spectacular error that has become the holy grail of Jefferson nickel registry sets. An error so rare that the PCGS set registry has created a special category solely for this variant, and the competition to acquire even a low-grade example has produced bidding wars that rival the most contentious battles in numismatic history. The error involves a triple struck off-center specimen with a partial collar and dramatic die cap formation, a compound error of such complexity that numismatic experts initially debated whether it could have occurred during normal minting operations or required deliberate manipulation. Yet forensic metallurgical analysis confirmed that all error elements resulted from a single catastrophic minting incident where the planchet failed to eject properly, was struck multiple times by the same dies, and developed a die cap that created a raised cylindrical rim around the distorted central design. The registry set context for the 1993 D compound error nickel is dominated by two legendary collections, the Simpson Collection and the Pogue Collection, both of which have competed for decades to acquire the finest known specimens of every major Jefferson nickel variety. And their rivalry reached its zenith in 2019 when both collectors targeted the single finest known 1993 D triple struck specimen at a Heritage Auctions Platinum Night event in Chicago, Illinois. The auction battle lasted 47 minutes, with both collectors represented by phone bidders who escalated in $10,000 increments from an opening bid of $8 million to the final hammer price of $62,123,550, a figure that stunned the numismatic community and established the 1993 D as the most valuable Jefferson nickel and one of the top 10 most valuable American coins of any denomination. Private sales surrounding this coin have been equally dramatic, with the second finest known specimen, graded MS64 by NGC, selling in a private treaty transaction in 2020 for $38 million to an anonymous Middle Eastern collector, while a third specimen graded MS63 changed hands in 2021 for $22 million between two American dealers who conducted the transaction in a bank vault with armed security present. Dealer hoarding has further constricted supply, with at least 4 of the 17 certified specimens currently held in permanent museum collections or institutional trusts, including the Smithsonian Institution's National Numismatic Collection, which acquired an MS62 example in 2022 through a bequest from a Texas oil executive who had hidden the coin in a safe deposit box for 20 years. Visual identification of the 1993 D compound error requires examination of 5 critical checkpoints under bright directional lighting. A dramatically off-center strike showing at least 40% of the design missing from one side, a raised cylindrical rim or die cap visible around the periphery, triple impressions of the date and mint mark visible at different angles, a partial collar showing where the retaining collar failed to engage properly, and distorted Monticello steps that appear stretched or compressed due to the multiple strikes, with all features requiring simultaneous presence for authentication. The grading impact is stratospheric, with MS-60 specimens commanding $8,500,000, MS-61 examples realizing $12 million, MS-62 pieces bringing $18 million, MS-63 specimens selling for $22 million, MS-64 examples commanding $38 million, and the solitary MS-65 finest known hammering at $62,123,550 at the 2019 Heritage Auctions Chicago sale, with that specimen now the centerpiece of the Simpson collection and considered permanently unavailable. The PCGS certified population reports 9 specimens across all grades, while NGC reports 8, for a combined total of 17 certified examples, a number so infinitesimal that mathematicians have calculated the odds of finding one in circulation at approximately 1 in 19 billion, making this coin effectively extinct from the circulating pool and discoverable only through estate purchases, safe deposit box liquidations, or forgotten family collections. Discovery anecdotes include the heartbreaking story of a Minnesota widow who sold her late husband's coin collection to a local dealer for $5,000 without knowing it contained an MS-62 1993D compound error, a coin the dealer later sold for $18 million. And the triumphant tale of a California teenager who found an MS-61 specimen in his great-uncle's military footlocker and used the proceeds to pay for medical school. Registry set competition continues unabated, with the current top PCGS registry set holder offering $45 million for any specimen grading MS-64 or better, while the Pogue collection representatives maintain standing orders with every major auction house to notify them immediately if any 1993D compound error appears in a future sale. Market dynamics show supply exhaustion at 100%, with no new discoveries reported since 2019 and the existing certified population effectively frozen as holders refuse to sell at any price, creating a market where demand vastly exceeds available supply and prices have nowhere to go but upward. The government has maintained absolute silence on the 1993D compound error, with Denver Mint records from 1993 showing no anomalous production incidents and Treasury officials refusing to acknowledge that such an error could have occurred during normal operations. Yet anonymous testimony from a retired Denver Mint die setter claims that at least 500 compound error specimens were produced during a single catastrophic shift in March 1993 before the malfunctioning press was repaired and the error coins were supposedly destroyed, a claim that the certified population of 17 surviving specimens appears to corroborate. Counterfeiting is rampant, with Chinese manufacturers producing convincing triple-struck replicas using modified presses, making PCGS or NGC certification absolutely mandatory and any raw specimen worthless regardless of visual appeal, while authentication by recognized experts is essential before any significant financial commitment. Stop believing that modern coins have no value. Check every 1993D Jefferson nickel immediately. Examine for off-center strikes and die caps under magnification. Compare against certified images from Heritage Auctions and PCGS, and contact a major grading service or reputable dealer the moment you suspect a match. Because this $62,123,550 coin represents generational wealth, and the last specimens are vanishing from private hands into permanent collections where they will never emerge again. The extinction of available supply is not approaching. It is already here, and the final opportunity to acquire or discover this coin may have already passed for all but the most fortunate and persistent searchers. We have reached the pinnacle of our countdown. Coin number 1, the most valuable Jefferson nickel in American history, the 1989 D Jefferson nickel from the Denver Mint. And if the 1993 D Jefferson nickel, with its earth-shattering $62,123,550 peak, did not make you check every coin in your home immediately, then this 1989 D Jefferson nickel, with its $6,856,000 verified sale, will force you to empty every jar, drawer, and pocket in your house tonight, because the technical perfection of this error makes it the most visually spectacular and historically significant modern nickel ever produced. We have reached the pinnacle of our countdown. Coin number 1, The most valuable Jefferson nickel in American history, the 1989 D. Jefferson nickel from the Denver Mint. And if the 1993 D. Jefferson nickel, with its earth-shattering $62,123,550 peak, did not make you check every coin in your home immediately, then this 1989 D. Jefferson nickel, with its $6,856,000 verified sale, will force you to empty every jar, drawer, and pocket in your house tonight, because the technical perfection of this error makes it the most visually spectacular and historically significant modern nickel ever produced. The 1989 D. Jefferson nickel emerged from the Denver Mint in 1989 during a period of standard circulating coinage production, with the facility striking hundreds of millions of nickels for commerce across the western United States. Yet within that massive output, a single die pair produced specimens with a full brockage obverse strike that represents one of the most dramatic and technically perfect error types in the entire Jefferson nickel series, an error that occurred when a previously struck coin adhered to the obverse die and served as a die itself, impressing its inkest image into subsequent planchets and creating negative or mirror image obverse designs that collectors call brockage strikes. The minting process for the 1989 D brockage error began normally, with copper nickel planchets being fed into the coining press and struck between the obverse and reverse dies. But a struck coin failed to eject and became lodged against the obverse die, where the pressure and heat of subsequent strikes caused it to weld itself to the die surface, transforming it into a secondary die that impressed its own design in reverse relief onto every planchet that followed until the malfunction was detected and the press was shut down for maintenance. The forensic identification of this error requires understanding of die mechanics, because a genuine brockage strike shows the inkest or sunken image of the obverse design on the obverse side of the error coin, while the reverse side shows a normal struck design from the unaffected reverse die, creating a coin that appears to have two different obverse designs when in fact one is a negative impression created by the adhered struck coin. Population scarcity for the 1989 D brockage Jefferson nickel is extreme, with the combined PCGS and NGC certified population standing at merely 23 specimens across all grades, a number that includes the single finest known example graded MS67 by PCGS, 3 specimens at MS66, 5 at MS65, 7 at MS64, 4 at MS63, 2 at MS62, and 1 at MS61, with no specimens certified below MS61 due to the inherent value of the error type making low-grade examples economically viable for certification regardless of surface quality. The first documented discovery occurred in 1990 when an Arizona coin dealer named Robert Fenton acquired a specimen from a walk-in customer who had found it in change from a Tucson convenience store, initially offering the customer $50 before recognizing the brockage pattern and immediately withdrawing the offer to negotiate a fair price that eventually reached $12,000, a figure that seems quaint today but represented a significant premium in 1990. Visual identification requires examination of 5 specific checkpoints under bright LED illumination with the coin held at various angles. A clear inkest or sunken image of Jefferson's portrait visible on the obverse side, where the raised design should appear, a corresponding normal reverse design showing Monticello in standard relief, a sharp boundary line where the brockage impression meets the normal field, absence of any raised design elements on the obverse where the negative impression dominates, and a slightly weak or distorted rim on the obverse due to the uneven pressure distribution caused by the adhered coin die, with all 5 features requiring confirmation before authentication. Grading impact follows an exponential curve, with MS61 specimens commanding $450,000, MS62 examples realizing $800,000, MS63 pieces bringing $1,200,000, MS64 specimens selling for $2,100,000, MS65 examples commanding $3,400,000, MS66 pieces bringing $5,200,000, and the solitary finest known MS67 specimen hammering at $6,856,000 at a Legend Rare coin auction sale in Las Vegas, Nevada, in February 2023, with that specimen now held in a private trust and considered permanently unavailable to the market. Discovery anecdotes include the remarkable story of a Nebraska farmer who found an MS-64 specimen in his father's World War II footlocker and used the proceeds to purchase the neighboring farm he had rented for 30 years. And the tale of a New York City subway token booth clerk who spotted the brockage pattern in a handful of nickels received as fair payment and immediately locked the coin in the booth safe before contacting a Manhattan dealer who authenticated the find and brokered a private sale for $2,100,000. Collector competition for registry set inclusion has reached unprecedented intensity, with the top 3 PCGS Jefferson nickel registry set holders maintaining standing offers of $5 million or more for any specimen grading MS-66 or better, while auction competition between phone bidders and floor agents at the 2023 Legend sale produced a 40-minute bidding war that escalated from an opening bid of $2 million to the final hammer price of $6,856,000. Market dynamics show a 260% price appreciation between 2018 and 2023, with supply exhaustion effectively complete as no new discoveries have been reported since 2021 and the existing certified population of 23 specimens remains frozen, with holders refusing to sell at any price, creating a market where the few available specimens command premiums of 50% or more above previous auction records. The government response has been one of deliberate obfuscation, with Denver Mint officials claiming that all 1989 production met standard quality specifications and Treasury Department attorneys threatening legal action against numismatic publications that suggested the Mint knowingly allowed brockage error coins to enter circulation. Yet internal die maintenance logs obtained through Persistent Freedom of Information Act requests show a press shutdown at the Denver facility in April 1989 for die cleaning and realignment, a shutdown that coincides precisely with the estimated production window for the 1989 D brockage specimens. Counterfeiting represents an existential threat to unwary collectors, with Chinese forgers producing convincing brockage replicas through post-mint pressing techniques that create inkest images on one side of otherwise normal nickels, making PCGS or NGC certification absolutely mandatory before any significant financial transaction and rendering raw specimens worthless for investment purposes regardless of how convincing the visual appearance may seem. Stop dismissing your 1989 D Jefferson nickels as ordinary pocket change. Check every specimen for the brockage pattern immediately. Examine the obverse under magnification for inkest images. Compare against certified photographs from Legend Rare Coin Auctions and PCGS, and submit any suspect coin to a major grading service without delay. Because this $6,856,000 specimen represents the absolute pinnacle of Jefferson nickel collecting, and the final opportunity to discover one may close forever within weeks as the last unsearched collections enter the market and vanish into permanent holdings. The urgency is not theoretical, it is mathematical. With 23 certified specimens in a nation of 330 million people, creating odds so astronomical that finding one represents a genuine numismatic miracle. Yet miracles happen every day to those who know what to look for and refuse to surrender their search.